All right, Coach Morgan, thanks for joining me today. I just wanted to touch base and get an update what's going on with the Millersville football team. Obviously, some unprecedented times, especially as a football coach. And first off, as a big sports fan, Philadelphia 76ers, Phillies opening day would have been today. How are you handling life with no sports?
Yeah, it's a big adjustment. From the football coach in me, it's tough not being around the guys, and it's great to see you as well. I haven't seen you in a few days, so it's good to see you as well. But also as a sports fan, it has been tough. I've been making it with Netflix, binge watching, and reruns on the NFL Network and ESPN. But it is tough missing opening day and following the Sixers. I really thought the Sixers would make a big run in the end of the season.
Yeah, it's definitely a big adjustment. But in terms of being a football coach and with this program, this would have been a big spring for you guys. I think continuity, trying to bring everything together year three, heading into year three. And for you as a coach, even though you're heading into year three, after this spring's over, you're only going to have one spring with your team. That's kind of a strange circumstances for you. What do you generally hope to accomplish in the spring when you're out there with your team?
We were looking forward to this spring tremendously. Number one, just because we were continuing, hoping to continue the great work that we had accomplished throughout the winter in the weight room with our field workouts, and then also in the film room with the coaches. The guys have done a tremendous job. The coaches had done a tremendous job, and just the all-around staff with Kyle Regensburg with the strength program and Heather Wolf with our athletic training, getting the guys able to play. We were hoping to go out there and just continue on that work. We're not going to get that for a program like us, which we're still a young team. We still have a lot of young guys. Those reps would have been very valuable. So we're not going to get those, but we're looking forward to getting the guys back together in August. And everybody else is dealing with the same thing. So we're talking to our guys right now about handling the situation the best we can, and understanding that the programs that get the most out of this time will be the ones that put themselves in the best shape come fall.
Well, you have a lot of guys on your roster. I'm not sure exactly what the count is now, upwards over 60 at this point, heading into the spring. But how logistically do you talk to your guys? Do you keep in touch with them? Do you make sure that they're staying on top of things academically and athletically?
Right now, the primary focus is making sure that they are in the best position to succeed in the classroom. So a lot of the conversations that we've had between spring break and now has just really been about making sure that they can handle, they have what they need to succeed with the remote learning, making sure they can have access to the internet, making sure they have access to their professors and all the technology that's needed to succeed in the classroom. Without that, there is no fall. So our commitment right now is geared towards that. We have a tremendous level of support from our athletic administration. Larry Ernesty, who works with our academic support, has done a tremendous job, along with a lot of other people in the administrative side. So we're just trying to take advantage of these the 2 weeks of spring break, just to make sure when classes start on Monday, our guys can do well. We'll take care of the football stuff. We're coming up with ways to still schedule meetings, to still get with the guys, continue the installations, continue with the learning that has been taking place throughout the winter. That will come, but first and foremost, it is all about the academics.
When you talk about the meetings and installations and things that you would normally do on the field, obviously you've probably been trying to rack your brain and think of ways that you can continue that learning process, even though you're having to do it virtually instead of in person. How are some of the ways that you plan to continue that teaching process and make sure that guys at least have the mental aspect of the game ready to go when they come back in camp?
Well, there's a lot of different ways to learn, and there's a lot of ways to get it done. I was talking to a few of our coaches yesterday, and we were saying how fortunate we are now as opposed to 10 or 15 years ago. So there's still ways to get film sessions in. There's still ways to get installations in. as a staff, we're working every day to find the creative ways to get ready for our guys whenever we're allowed to. Once the NCAA gives us the go-ahead and the PSAC gives us the go-ahead, we want to be rolling on all cylinders, even with the remote learning from a football perspective.
And just meeting with coaches. I know you guys are big, getting together in the rooms, talking things over, but everybody's separated right now. How are you handling just game planning with the coaches?
We're not really missing a beat. We set a plan up, to start our preseason preparation work. We still have recruiting preparation work as we're going into the 2021 class. So a lot of that, a lot of those meetings are still taking place. Again, with the video conferencing options that we have, there is, we haven't missed a lot of downtime, and our staff, they're great guys to be around. I miss seeing them in person, but just being able to connect with them online, we can still have some fun together. We can still work towards our goal and still get a lot done. So grateful for that.
You mentioned Coach Kyle Regensburg a little bit ago. How are you handling the strength and conditioning aspect of all this with no organized team lifts at this point?
Kyle did a great job of setting the guys up with a program when they were leaving campus. We were one of the few schools that were in session when, all these decisions were being made. So we were able to see our guys face to face before spring break, because our break was 1 week later than most teams. And with that time, we were able to explain to them in person on how we were going to proceed. But Kyle had a workout set for them that would last them a few weeks, give us some time to figure out what the situation will be moving forward. Since then, the decision was made to finish the semester with remote learning. So now we understand that the guys won't be back for the semesters. We're finding ways to get them the workouts that are needed. But, just like with any athlete anywhere across the country, there's ways to be creative about getting the workouts in. But we are stressing safety. The practice of social distances is very important. And this is something that we don't want the guys to take lightly. So there's some creativity in terms of finding ways for them to get their workouts in, also keep in shape. But above all things, it's about being safe, not only for themselves, but for their loved ones around them too, until we get this thing under control.
Absolutely. And you think about all the things that are going on in the world right now. Football and sports kind of takes a back seat, but hopefully at some point we'll get around to playing sports again. And when you come back in the fall, hopefully you'll be looking for a new quarterback. Bearshank stepped away from the game because of a lot of the injuries that he's had compiled up over time. And obviously this spring would have been a big opportunity for you to evaluate that position and get some guys some much needed reps. Where do you see the status of your roster as you head into the fall, touching on the quarterback position and also some of the other positions where you brought in some mid-year guys that would help out, and the new guys coming in the fall?
Well, we have 3 second-year quarterbacks on our roster that we're very excited about. The spring would have been huge for those guys to just get some reps and get another, get 15 practices of film on them so that they can learn from that. That would have been very valuable. But again, they did work really hard with everything we put on them throughout the semester up until spring break. We also brought in Anthony Butler, who is a transfer from Morgan State, and he's taking the offense pretty well, so he'll have a chance to compete. And we're always going to look for ways to improve the roster. So if there's somebody out there that is looking for a spot that's a good fit, we'll take advantage of that as well.
So, Coach, you're a guy that's always very positive and always looking for the bright side of things. I know you're an optimist. So in what ways are you finding positives out of this situation where even though you can't get on the field and practice, you're finding opportunities in some other way?
Yeah, there are still opportunities to get better, maybe not as much on the physical side, but even on the mental side. And life slows down for us a little bit. And this is, for coaches, for players, for professors, for everybody in the entire world, life is slowing down. It gives you opportunity to spend time with loved ones, spend time with, each other, and find ways to connect in ways that we haven't, that we normally wouldn't do if we were going through the daily grind. I was just talking to, some family members and just realized there's been people I haven't connected with in months, and it was good to reconnect with them. Even home, with my job and my wife's job, last weekend was the first weekend all year that we've been together as a family of 4. And so we've been taking advantage of that time together, and that's stuff that coaches all over face. And so it's a good time for us to remind each other that life is precious, time with loved ones is precious, and just to take some time to rest and regroup and recharge the batteries.
Well, last thing is, I know everybody is finding creative ways to meet. Where are you sitting right now in your house?
I'm in my man cave.
Okay.
My wife was giving me a hard time. She said I don't have a background like those guys on ESPN and helmets and things like that. I'm a simple person, so I don't need much. I do have pictures around and stuff, but for me to set up shop and get work done, I have a desk. I have a TV that I can watch film on. I have access to some snacks in the refrigerator. So, give me some space and opportunity, and I'm all for it.
And how are you adjusting to being at home with that family of 4 with 2 little ones running around?
It's great. I've learned how to be a coach at home, but I've also been a substitute teacher, in the minds of homeschool. But a lot of parents are dealing with that right now. Gives you a lot of perspective on what it takes to educate the young people of America. And then all the time we have a 1-year-old that's running around the house. So she's keeping us busy, but it's great to spend that time with each other, even if it's pretty hectic at times.
Well, enjoy the time you have with your family, Coach. And I know the larger family at Hull, the Marauder family, appreciate you coming on and joining me today. And we all look forward to hopefully a day when we get back and see some Marauder football on the field.
Absolutely. This will pass. And, I'm just excited to get back with the coaches and players again. I miss those guys a lot. I miss everybody on campus a lot. Can't wait to get rolling.
All right, Coach. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Ethan.